I'll probably start just talking a little bit about what we're about to do. And so as people jump on or jump off, then we'll work through that. But today really is just a releasing ceremony. And how many of you have never done a releasing ceremony before?
I have not.
Okay, cool. So the idea of a releasing ceremony is that as we travel through life, we tend to accumulate a certain amount of baggage. We all do that. We all start to travel through life carrying stuff that doesn't belong to us anymore. And one of my old bosses used to say that humans, as a creature of habit, whenever we feel we have spaces, we always fill them with stuff. So inevitably, as we start to travel through our lives, we're filling our lives with stuff, and that stuff often takes energy to hold and energy to maintain. And so the reason why we do releasing ceremonies is mostly to free up that energy so that we can redirect it towards the stuff that we want to fuel, so that we have greater magnetism for the stuff that we choose to have in our lives. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Beautiful, cool. And the reason why we do it at this particular time is that the new moon actually, it ticks off tomorrow in terms of the apex. So we're in what's called the dark moon period. And the dark moon period is about 24 hours before the apex of the new moon. And the new moon, I believe it's, I've got it written down, I believe it's 1:43 p.m. tomorrow is where the apex is in Denver. Double check that. And the reason why that's significant, where are we? Yeah, so 1:43 p.m. in Denver. And the reason why that's significant is that at that period of time is where it's time for us to start to fill the space that we just created, the stuff that we're hoping to manifest, or the stuff that we want to focus on in our lives. So it gives us a very practical way of working with energy in order to manifest into our lives the stuff that we want and the stuff that we choose and the stuff that we value, rather than carrying these suitcases full of old energy that just constantly attracts to us the things that we don't want anymore. So quite often people who are in cycles in love or cycles in relationships where the same thing keeps coming up into our lives, it's actually energetically a way that your universe is telling you that it's in your field, and you're fueling that with energy. So that's where the law of attraction actually works to our favor. When we attract things into our lives, even if they're stuff that we don't want, it actually tells us what energy we're carrying with us and what energy we have as a point of magnetism in our field. So that's kind of why we do these releasings. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good. The correct answer is yes.
Yes.
I wasn't fishing with the compliments, I was just fishing for yes. So anyway, suffice it to say, the few things that you need for a releasing ceremony, and the cool thing is that you don't always need to do them really big. Like I've been traveling, so I've been doing them every single moon cycle for the last probably 3 years, actually, interestingly enough. It's been working quite fine for me. It also allows me to more clearly understand, as I'm traveling through the months, some of the stuff that doesn't feel like it belongs to me anymore. So as you start to energetically sync up with the moon cycles, you realize that there's a whole lot of stuff that's obvious to you that you just haven't put aside the time to train your brain to be able to perceive that information. So that's kind of really cool. So all you really need is you really just need a candle, and you need something to hold the ashes in. Because obviously if you're in an Airbnb or a hotel room, you don't want to burn their place down. So usually I grab whatever's handy. In this case, because I'm at Juliana's place, I've got this, it's just a Pyrex dish that I've put some aluminium foil in. So that serves me fine, but you can use a saucepan or anything usually that's obviously heat proof. Is really awesome. And what we often do with the ashes once we've burnt our stuff is that there's energy in the ashes. So we'll take that and we will burn the ashes. Sorry, we've already burnt the ashes. Phoenix, I'm doing the Phoenix thing. We'll actually bury the ashes in the earth somewhere or somehow. Yeah, some people might even, if they have a beach handy, you can also donate it to the beach or what have you. Spirit's reminding me that being mindfully conscious of pollution, they always recommend that you consider using recycled paper or paper that's got low chemicals in it when you're writing, just to make sure that we're not passing on too many chemicals to the earth. Of course, fire spirit will catalyze the energy anyway, but that's just some important things to note. I also mentioned, obviously you need a pen and paper in order to write down something, but I also tend to have sage with me or something to release the negative energy that I've just released in the field, or spirit is reminding me sometimes we release stuff that's not necessarily negative, but maybe energetic or hungry. But I also often have a thing of water with a little bit of salt in it in order to direct the energy to that. And I'll show you at the end how we do that. It ties in a little bit to our trance healing work that we're going to be doing on Sunday. So to do that, I've just got a glass of water, basically glass that conducts energy with some salt water in that. And after I finish with that, I'll also give it back to the earth, because the earth mother knows how to recycle it. Cool. So that's essentially all. Now, do you all have an idea of what you want to release?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
Yes.
Beautiful. Cool. The other thing that I'm also being reminded of is that there's a certain amount of work that I, as a woman, do choose to do. And I'd recommend you consider doing this, all of you, specifically if you've had a relationship recently that has left you. It's really important for you to understand that when we are in relationships, we actually start to absorb energy from other people. And specifically, if you're a woman who's having sex with a man, that energy transference, he's actually putting energy inside you every time you guys have that intimacy. And so we can, and we will also today, for those of you who are interested, put down any names of any man or any person who may have fit that criteria, who you may not be associated with anymore, and you may not wish to be associated with anymore. You can also put that down and burn that energy out of your womb space. And so specifically, we would code that to set an intent to release that energy from my womb space, because Spirit's reminding me that there is an understanding that whenever we have an intimate relationship with someone, we end up energetically tethered to them for around 7 to 10 years. And so you may not have seen the person for ages, but their energy may still actually be a point of magnetism in your field. And sometimes this can mean that you're attracting to your field new relationships that are very similar. Rather than doing that, we tend to then work through burning up the energy. That make sense? Awesome.
Yes.
Such a teacher.
Yes.
Yes, miss. What do you guys say here? Do you say yes, miss?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so that's an English thing. Thanks, Dina, for that. Yes, ma'am. You can say yes, ma'am. Cool. So we'll get started. Have you all got your candle and your thing to burn something with? Yes. Awesome.
Yes.
That's affirmative. Beautiful. Now I haven't lit my candle yet because we haven't started the ritual, and so I'm just going to step you through essentially the steps that we're going to go through, and some of them you can kind of move them around. So sometimes I might light the candle first and then do the whole thing, but for some reason today I feel like I'm going to light the candle in the middle of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to express an intent, what our intention is. After that, we're going to get you into a receptive state, a state of receptivity. So opening your energetic centers. From there, we're going to invoke any spirit guide or any spirit animal or any ascended being or benevolent being that you wish to help you do this work. They're also reminding me that we can also ask the guardians of the land if they'll also support us in our work. In Australia, there's this particular thing that quite often when we present to groups of people, we will acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land. Often when I work as a reader, if I'm working in a new location, I may even look up who the traditional custodians of the land were, and I'll actually invoke them or in fact, I'll ask firstly their permission to do the work there. And if I feel like it's okay, and then I'll actually do the work and ask them to support me in the work. That just adds another level. When we're doing clearing work, we can clear for ourselves, but there are ways of actually setting up the ritual so that when I'm actually clearing for myself, I actually have a secondary or a third motivation, and that is to also do some land clearing at the same time, and some ancestral clearing there, reminding me. Okay, all cool? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Cool, awesome. So that's the invocation. Then we're going to light the candle, then we'll write the list, and then together we're going to burn it with gratitude. Now, the reason why we do it together is because when we do things together at the same time, we activate a stronger magnetic resonance. So it's kind of, energy works in spirals. So if I do it on my own, it's all well and good. If I bring in the ascended beings that want to assist with me, then I've got a heightened magnetism, so it goes further. But when I do all of that, plus there's Dina doing it, plus there's Cheryl doing it, plus there's Kathy doing it, plus if everybody is doing this at the same time, then we've got a really big shift of energy. So it's worthwhile doing it together, even if it's just about doing a free Zoom call, once a month. So
Woohoo.
it's also really good to do it. Yeah, that's kind of why the more people we can kind of get onto this kind of stuff and to do it together, the stronger the shift is for everybody. We actually start to shift significant volumes of energy and scarring from the planet. And so that's why I'm a big fan of doing collective work rather than just one-on-one. Cool. Awesome. So then we need to close everything, because if we don't close everything, then the energy carries on for the rest of the day. And we can do that sometimes if you want to, but we're not going to choose to do that today. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, people. So let's do this. So I'm just going to get you guys just to breathe a little bit. Just breathe a little bit, and I want to remind you, and I want you to remind yourself that our intention here is we're going to do a dark moon burning ritual, the purpose of which is to clear the energy, anything that doesn't belong to me anymore, so that it can serve my highest good. We're also got the double intention of doing a land clearing where we're doing the ceremony, so that where we do have the ability to do that, we shift the energy, any scarring or any dense matter that may be residually situated in the geographical grid where we're working. Cool. So getting into a receptivity state, I'm going to get you guys to close your eyes, and I want you to start to breathe, inhaling through the nose, in through the nose, and out through the mouth. At least 3 times, and as you do that, focusing on settling into your body. I also at this point like to anchor myself, so I imagine that my feet are growing roots into like a tree roots, that they're growing into the earth mother. I'm physically present with I am present. I am present. I am present with me, and I am present with you. Beautiful. Now, as you continue to breathe, I want you to imagine inside your chest is a bright white light. This is your soul spark. And as you continue to breathe, you notice this soul spark starts to expand. It starts to grow. It starts to open. It starts to brighten. It starts to lighten your space, and it starts to expand into the space where you're sitting. And as you do that, notice that the beautiful divine oneness that surrounds us is starting to match you, starting to send you beautiful white light source energy, and start to feel the reciprocation of, as you open up your energetic spirit, as your energetic center rather, to expand and be present with your spirit energy, that the spirit oneness that surrounds you joins you. And as you do that, you can open your eyes. You find yourself now in a seat of receptivity, a space of receptivity and connection. From here, we're going to invoke, and this is what you want to do inside your mind. You can invoke any ancestors who wish to assist me today in my clearing work. I'm also going to call any guardians, any spirit guardians I might have, any ascended masters that may choose to work with me that represent their highest authenticity on this planet. I may also ask any spirit guides, any specific spirit guides, or if you don't know who they are, you may just call in your main spirit guide to be with you and to assist you as you work through for your highest good. We're also going to ask any benevolent beings, 5th dimensional or above, that wish to assist us and to be present, asking them to remind us of anything that is currently in our field that may not serve us anymore, that we might wish to write down. They're here to assist us to do the process. It is us that is here to do the process. Beautiful. So when you're ready, lighting your candle, signify that you're ready to do your work. Beautiful. Beautiful. And from there, I welcome you to grab your pen and paper and start to write. This is us releasing anything as it serves my highest good. As it serves my highest good, I release the following. From my field of energy. And any additional bodies. Beautiful. And then go, my friends. I think someone's called the fairies in. Definitely fairies.
Hey, there's a unicorn here too.
Oh, there so is. There so is. I love it. It's so good. Awesome. Awesome. So we'll start to burn pretty soon. Are any of you still going?
I'm done.
I'm done.
Sure.
That was all?
I'm done.
Awesome. Fabulous. So when you're ready, fun. Do it with glee. Big smile on your face. Yeah, let's do this, ladies. Okay, so usually, you know, when we do this ceremonially, we'll all watch each other doing it individually, but right now, we're just going to all do it at the same time. So let's do it with gratitude for the energy that was given to us in the lesson. Please do not burn yourself or anything else other than the paper. Oh. This is the point where I sing Burn, Baby, Burn, Disco Inferno.
I was just thinking that in my head.
I got you, honey.
Mm,
We speak of the same language.
totally.
Burn, baby, burn.
Disco Inferno.
Do, do, do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, oops. That
Careful.
Tears. I just heard my mother's voice saying, "Put it down, Donna."
Are we singing Burning Down the House?
Oh, yes, I'm burning down Juliana's house. It's not mine.
Now I got that song. Burning down the house.
Definitely fairies. Awesome. Cool. So with gratitude, ladies, with gratitude, we're just also, now that we're, in fact, I should check. Is there someone still going?
Yeah, mine's still burning just a tad.
Alrighty.
Mine is too.
Alrighty. Keep going, ladies.
Yes, ma'am.
Apparently wants to hang in there a little minute.
Oh, they do that, Cheryl. They really do.
Got one little
You just
piece.
gotta focus, and we understand, of course, that we can't release anything that isn't still currently serving a purpose. So if you've put down something that you want it gone and it's not gone yet, the spirit world reminds me that quite often we need about 3 months to keep focused on doing that. So keep writing it down. If it's meaningful for you, keep writing it down. Sometimes it takes about 3 months, then 3 moon cycles to shift. We can't genuinely release anything that isn't serving a high purpose. So if something is serving a high purpose, then it will probably not leave you even if you ask. But the spirit world is reminding me that it does take into consideration all of your intentions, and it assists you to move things quicker when you do. So, and they're also reminding me that within 3 month period time, it may actually dawn on you how something is serving you if it's still in your life. Ooh, yes, they're also reminding me that sometimes when we burn energy out of our womb space, there's about a month of cycle where the energy in the womb starts to shift because obviously the energy in the womb is, or used to be adjusted to the moon cycle. They're essentially, sorry, yep. Zoom sending me weird stuff. Then essentially, yes, Spirit was reminding me the patriarchy is sending me messages when I'm doing this stuff. They don't want us to burn the energy because they still want to control us. So, and this is a subliminal thing. It really isn't something that's our fault. It's just endemic in the society that we're in at the moment. So that can change, and that's what we're doing when we do this womb clearing. But it does take about a month for the energy to flush out of your womb space. Okay, cool. So we're just going to close the ceremony down, and then afterwards I will ask you to sage or to, that's right, they said I'm going to show you what to do with water. You can sage if you want, but I'll show you what to do with water. So just to close, we're just going to thank all of the ascended beings that came and assisted us today. We're going to also thank the guardians and the spirit guides and the ancestors that assisted us. We're also going to thank the land mass. Mama Earth, of course, is also issuing a thanks to us in return because she does that. So we just issue a gratitude. She was also reminding me, the Earth Mother is just reminding me that we are more than welcome to use her essentially with the ashes. She gratefully receives that energy and she knows what to do with it. So she will redirect it towards some of the stuff that needs to happen. And she's also reminding me that when we do earth work and we do earth magic, like Celtic earth magic ourselves, then we get that energy back through other ways. She can assist us to do that. And it's just a case sometimes of asking the Earth Mother to assist us to have new things added into our lives. And you guys can do that when you do the new moon list, which you're going to do after 1:43 p.m. tomorrow, right? We've usually got also about 24 hours once the new moon takes over in order to manifest that new stuff. And you can do it pretty much through the same ritual that we just did. You just obviously do it with the intent to write a new moon list. And with that new moon list, you may stick that new moon list on your secret altar if you've got one going. I keep one even as I'm traveling, so I do recommend that you do that. Cool. So just to close, essentially, we've already thanked everybody. We're now just going to close your eyes, and I just want you to imagine with your energy centers as you breathe, closing down that light spark. So seeing that light retract and seeing it come back into your chest and seeing it closing down again. And as you do that, light yourself 3 times, which means just imagine that you're in a spotlight of water, a white water, or a spotlight of white light, or a shower of white water, just washing you down 3 times and gifting any of the energy that may be attached to you back to the earth. You can also send your energy and your intent down into the earth in order to be with the earth and to be present. Again, we are present in our fields. And that's essentially it. So when you have the time, there is no time on burying your ashes. Just do it when the time is right for you. I would, of course, blow out the candle to signify the end. So, yes, water. So just before you go, because it's telling me I've got 6 minutes and 40 before it starts to close me off. Zoom's fine. So with the water, essentially what I would do is I can put my hands on either side, or if you want, you can put one on the bottom and one on the top, kind of like crystals. And what I imagine is I'll close my eyes and I'll pull the energy, any energy that's floating, and I'll imagine it going into the water. So calling any dense, dark frequency energy that might be floating around from what I just released, we're going to pull that into the water. Just imagine that pulling and sending into the water. The water spirit loves to do this work for you, pulling energy into the water, sending any residual energy that no longer belongs to you back into the water. And that's it, pretty much. Spirit is also reminding me that some of you, if you happen to keep track of some of your behavioural programs that you've asked to release, you can also keep that water out for a little while. Just don't drink it. And anytime you have a thought that seems to sit out of alignment with what it is that you just shifted or is pulling you back into that old behavioural program, just send the thought to the water. Imagine yourself sending the thought to the water and giving it back, give that back to the water. Some people actually even, like if they want to stop swearing or doing anything, if also because we as women tend to have a program where we tend to bitch and complain and sit in victimhood a little bit too much. When you catch yourself in that behavior, what often is a good practice to have is actually have a bucket of water handy with some salt just by the door. And anytime you catch yourself having a negative thought or having a bit of a victimhood sook about what's going on with you, just direct that energy to the bucket of water, and that can also assist to prevent some of the energetic tethering that happens when we think poorly of other people, and vice versa. If I start to notice that I'm getting the feeling of someone in my field and I don't want them to think about me, then I'm going to direct that thought into the water. Cool. So any questions before we go?
The water goes to the land?
Yeah, ideally. You can dip it down the sink if you want, but the land can use the energy. So, and the plants also know how to recycle it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Your plants is kind of like, there's a beautiful thing about plants and trees, you know, they take our waste products and they convert it into good energy. They know how to do this. They're partially here to do that for the planet. I'd like to say they're here to do it for us, but let's face it, they were here before we were.
Mm.
So they're really helpful in a way. It actually helps them. So.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Good question. Otherwise, you're all good?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
My pleasure.
Donna.
Yeah.
My pleasure. Hopefully I'll see you guys. I have the channeling class on Friday, so if you're free, please come to that. We also have the trance healing class. Yeah, Dina's excited because she's going to be there with us. The trance healing workshop is on this Sunday, so if you can join us, please do. I'm really excited about the trance healing workshop, actually. We're going to also record that for some reason. There's something about what we're doing there that's going to be magnificent and wonderful and worth spreading. So, yeehaw! Baby burn.
Disco Inferno.
All right, guys. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you very soon.
Love and light.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Night, lovelies.
Thank you.